Welcome back to our channel, Valuable Coins Hub. These rare Lincoln penny coins make people rich. Let's find out why. Don't miss out one of these who know a single coin make you rich. Number 1. Today, we are diving into one of the most fascinating modern coins in American history, the 2009 Lincoln Professional Life Penny. Now, this isn't just another coin you toss into a jar or spend without a second thought. This one carries history, rarity, and some truly amazing surprises for collectors who know what to look for. If you're a coin lover, listen carefully, because what I'm about to share could completely change the way you see that little 1-cent piece in your pocket. The year 2009 was special. It marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the United States Mint decided to honor his life with a series of 4 different reverse designs on the penny. Each design told a different chapter of Lincoln's journey, and the Professional Life penny captured the moment when Lincoln stood tall as a statesman in Springfield, Illinois, shaping the future of America. That image alone makes this coin stand out in history, but what makes it even more thrilling is how rare and valuable certain versions can be today. When people first saw these coins in change, they may have thought they were ordinary, but collectors quickly realized that some of these pieces were struck with exceptional detail, sharp luster, and in some cases, fascinating minting errors that transformed them from pocket change into treasures worth hunting for. Imagine holding a coin that most people overlook, but in reality, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on its condition and uniqueness. That's the kind of thrill that keeps collectors searching every roll of pennies they find. One of the biggest reasons the Professional Life penny has become so collectible is because not all were made equally. Some were struck in brilliant uncirculated sets, some in proof sets with mirror-like finishes, and some ended up with rare doubling or striking mistakes. These error coins are where the excitement reaches its peak, because each error is like a fingerprint. No two are exactly the same. Collectors go wild for double dies, off-center strikes, and coins with missing details. Finding one feels like uncovering a hidden treasure chest. Now, let me give you a tip if you're serious about collecting. Always check the surfaces carefully under good light. Look for doubling on the letters, sharp details in Lincoln's figure, and any unusual marks that don't belong. Even a tiny minting flaw could mean the difference between a coin worth just a cent and one that could bring you a serious payday at auction. And remember, condition is everything. A coin pulled fresh from a mint roll and kept safe can bring far more value than one that's been through years of circulation. Collectors across the country are actively hunting for the 2009 Professional Life penny, and auctions have shown time and again that pristine examples and rare errors are commanding strong prices. The demand is high because this coin represents both history and scarcity rolled into one. People who know what they're looking for understand that this isn't just about owning a coin, it's about owning a piece of America's story. And now, let's talk about the part you've been waiting for, the value. The original face value of this penny was, of course, just 1 cent. But depending on condition, rarity, and error types, these coins have sold in auctions for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. Imagine someone in New York or Chicago bringing one of these coins in perfect condition to a sale and walking out with a payout that nobody expected from a penny. That's why every collector checks their change, because you never know when a Professional Life penny will turn up and change everything. So, if you've got old jars of coins, mint sets, or even rolls of pennies lying around, don't pass them up. The 2009 Lincoln Professional Life penny could be sitting right there, waiting to be discovered. Number 2. We are diving into a coin that many people overlook, but collectors know holds secrets that can surprise anyone. The 1981 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks like any other cent you'd find in your pocket change. But believe me, this coin has its own story, its own rarity, and its own exciting twists that make it worth searching for. If you love coins or just enjoy discovering hidden treasures, you will want to stay with me until the very end, because every detail counts and you might just realize you already have a valuable piece in your hands. The 1981 penny comes from a fascinating time in U.S. coin history. It was the last full year that the Lincoln cent was struck with its traditional copper composition before the big change came in 1982 when pennies were switched to a mostly zinc core. That makes the 1981 cent historically important, a final chapter of the classic copper era. When you hold one of these coins, you are literally holding the last of its kind, and that alone excites collectors across the country. Now let's talk about what makes this coin truly thrilling. Millions of them were made, yes, but not every coin tells the same story. Some were struck with stronger details, some survived in beautiful condition untouched by circulation, and some carry mysterious minting errors that completely change their value. Doubling on the letters, off-center strikes, filled dies where parts of the design are missing. These are the kinds of things that collectors dream about finding. An ordinary cent suddenly becomes a rare treasure worth hundreds or even thousands just because of the way it was struck. Imagine pulling out an old jar of pennies, sifting through them, and spotting a 1981 with sharp doubling on the motto or a dramatic off-center strike. That is the thrill that keeps collectors searching, the hope that the next coin you flip over could be the jackpot. Every roll of pennies is like a lottery ticket for coin lovers, and the 1981 penny is one that truly delivers surprises. Here's a tip if you are looking for these coins. Pay attention to the condition first. Even a normal 1981 penny can climb in value if it's in mint state condition with bright luster and no scratches. Coins graded by professionals at the top levels can sell for very strong prices because collectors are always chasing perfection. Also, always check carefully under good light or with a magnifier for doubling on the lettering, especially on words like Liberty or In God We Trust. These small details can make a world of difference in value. Collectors also know that the 1981 penny came in multiple mint marks, from Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with its D, and San Francisco where proofs were made with the S mint mark. Each one tells its own story, and proof coins especially can shine with mirror-like fields and sharp details that make them extremely desirable. The proof coins in particular are like little works of art, and when errors appear on them, their rarity skyrockets. The demand for 1981 pennies has been growing because they represent the end of the copper era, and error coins from this year are highly prized at auctions. There have been cases where collectors in big cities like Chicago or Los Angeles brought error pennies from 1981 to auction and walked away with amazing payouts. What makes it even more thrilling is that these coins still show up in circulation from time to time, tucked away in jars, rolls, or collections that people forgot about. And now let's talk about value. The original market value of this coin was simply 1 cent, just a penny you could spend on anything back in 1981. But today, depending on condition and rarity, especially with those exciting minting errors, these coins have sold for prices that go far beyond what anyone would expect from a little copper cent. So, check your change, dig through those old jars, and look carefully, because the 1981 Lincoln penny could be waiting for you, and it might just be worth far more than you ever dreamed. Number 3. We are stepping back into the early 60s to talk about a coin that so many people have seen but very few truly understand, the 1963 Lincoln penny. Now this little cent might look ordinary at first glance, but there are secrets hidden in its history, its errors, and its condition that can make it one of the most exciting coins to search for in your collection. So don't miss a second of this, because the story of this coin will thrill every collector and maybe even send you rushing to check your change jars tonight. The year 1963 was an important time in America. It was right before the country entered a new era, a time filled with change, hope, and also challenges. The Lincoln cent of 1963 was still made of solid copper, that rich reddish metal that collectors love so much today. When you hold one, you feel the weight of real copper in your hand, something modern pennies just don't have anymore. That fact alone makes the 1963 penny a cherished piece of history, and with millions minted in Philadelphia and Denver, these coins made their way into the hands of nearly every American at the time. But here's where the thrill begins. While many were minted, not every coin survived in perfect condition. Most were used, scratched, dented, and worn down in daily life. The rare few that stayed hidden in rolls, sets, or collections are the ones that shine today, literally and figuratively. Collectors will pay serious money for those uncirculated examples with blazing luster and sharp details, and that demand is only getting stronger as time passes. What makes this coin even more exciting are the minting errors that exist. Some 1963 pennies show doubling on the lettering, especially on words like Liberty or In God We Trust. Others have off-center strikes, where Lincoln's portrait is shifted and part of the design is missing. Then there are coins struck on the wrong planchets, giving them a completely unusual look. These error coins are like treasures waiting to be discovered, because they are one-of-a-kind and collectors will fight over them in auctions. Imagine someone finding one in an old jar, taking it to a sale in New York or Los Angeles, and walking out with hundreds or even thousands for a coin that started life as a penny. Here's a tip for collectors who are serious about hunting. Always look at the edges of the coin and the fields under good light. Sharpness in Lincoln's hair, clarity in the lettering, and smooth, mark-free surfaces are signs of a higher-grade coin. The Denver Mint coins with the small D mint mark can sometimes show variations in how the mark was punched, and those tiny differences can increase value. Proof coins struck in 1963 are also highly desirable, with mirror-like finishes that make them stand out in any collection. If you find one of those with an error or in pristine condition, you've got something truly special. The beauty of the 1963 penny is that it is both common enough for anyone to search for and rare enough in the right condition or with errors to make the hunt exciting. Every roll of pennies you open has a chance to reveal one of these gems, and that thrill keeps collectors hooked. It's not just about owning a coin, it's about owning a piece of history, a piece of copper from a time when America was on the edge of major change. And now the part you've been waiting for, the value. When this coin was released, its original market value was simply 1 cent. Just a single penny you could spend in 1963. But today, depending on condition, rarity, and those fascinating minting errors, these coins have been known to sell in auctions for far more than anyone would expect from a copper cent. So my friends, don't overlook the 1963 Lincoln penny. Check your old jars, your inherited coin boxes, or even pocket change, because you never know when one of these treasures will be waiting for you. Number 4, I'm going to tell you about a coin that may look ordinary at first but hides secrets that can make it one of the most exciting finds in pocket change, the 1979 Lincoln penny. This little coin has been sitting quietly in circulation for decades, but collectors know that inside its copper shine are stories of rarity, errors, and hidden value that you simply cannot ignore. Stay with me until the very end, because I promise you, if you love coins, this one will keep you on the edge of your seat. The 1979 Lincoln cent comes from a fascinating era in United States coinage. America was going through a time of inflation, and the price of copper was rising fast. These pennies were still struck in their traditional copper composition, just before the big changes of the 1980s. That alone makes them historic, because each one is a piece of real copper from a turning point in coinage history. Holding one feels different, heavier, richer, and collectors appreciate that unique detail more and more as the years pass. Now here's where the thrill begins. Millions of these pennies were minted, yes, but not all of them are the same. Some carry striking errors that transform them from common change into treasures worth hundreds or even thousands. We're talking about double dies where letters and numbers show doubling, off-center strikes where Lincoln's portrait is shifted, and even coins struck on the wrong planchets. Each error tells its own story and makes the coin unique. Imagine finding one in a jar of old coins and realizing that you're holding something people would fight over at auction in New York or Los Angeles. Condition plays a huge role in the value of the 1979 penny. Most of the coins you'll find today are scratched, worn, and beaten down from decades of use. But the rare examples that survived untouched, still glowing with bright mint luster, are highly sought after by collectors. A coin in pristine condition can be worth many times more than the same coin in average shape. That's why collectors are always on the lookout for rolls of pennies that have been hidden away for years, because inside could be a gem waiting to shine. Here's a tip for every collector watching. Always check the mint mark carefully. The 1979 penny was struck in Philadelphia with no mint mark, in Denver with a D, and in San Francisco with an S. Proof coins from San Francisco are especially beautiful, with mirror-like fields and sharp details, and they are very desirable in the collecting world. Pay special attention to the S mint mark too, because variations and sharpness in the mark can add to the rarity. The tiny details are where the biggest treasures hide. The demand for 1979 pennies has been growing steadily, and the excitement isn't slowing down. Every year collectors uncover new errors and high-grade examples that surprise the market. Stories of coins selling at auctions for strong prices continue to spread, fueling the thrill of the hunt even more. This isn't just about owning a penny, it's about owning a piece of history and a coin that could one day be the centerpiece of your collection. And now the moment you've been waiting for, the value. When this coin first left the mint in 1979, its original market value was just 1 cent. A simple penny you could spend on candy or gum back then. But today, depending on condition, rarity, and the type of minting error, these coins have been known to sell for prices that shock collectors and amaze beginners who never thought a penny could be worth that much. So my friends, don't ignore the 1979 Lincoln penny. Check your old jars, search those rolls, and take a close look at the details. That small coin in your hand might just be the treasure you've been waiting for. Number 5, and last rare coin. I want to share with you a story about a coin that may look simple but hides secrets that excite every coin collector. The 1978 Lincoln penny. Don't be fooled by its tiny size. This coin is more than just a piece of copper. It is a time capsule, a part of American history, and for the right collector it could be worth far more than you can imagine. Stay with me until the end, because once you learn about its rarity and errors, you will never look at your pocket change the same way again. The 1978 penny belongs to the classic Lincoln Memorial Series, a design that millions of Americans carried daily. It was struck during a time when copper pennies were still the standard, just before the big transition that happened in the early 1980s. This makes the 1978 coin part of the last true generation of full copper cents. And collectors know that detail gives these coins a charm that later ones simply don't have. Each one feels heavier, richer, more authentic in the hand, and that's why treasure hunters are always eager to search for them. Now here's where things get thrilling. Even though millions were minted, not every 1978 penny is ordinary. Some left the mint with incredible errors that changed everything. Imagine finding a double die obverse where Lincoln's face or the letters in Liberty show doubling. Or spotting an off-center strike where part of the design is missing but the date is still visible. These mistakes were never meant to be released, yet they slipped into circulation, and today collectors pay a fortune for them. One lucky person even sold an off-center 1978 penny at an auction in Chicago for a price that shocked everyone, proving once again how errors turn small change into real treasures. Condition is another factor that makes this coin exciting. Most 1978 pennies have been used and worn for decades, showing scratches and faded details. But those that survived in perfect condition, untouched and glowing with mint luster, are extremely desirable. Collectors hunt rolls of pennies and search old coin jars hoping to uncover one of these pristine survivors. The thrill of finding one is like striking gold, because such coins can command incredible attention at auctions in New York, Los Angeles, or anywhere serious coin buyers gather. Here's a tip every collector should remember. Always check the mint mark. The 1978 penny was minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, in Denver with a D, and in San Francisco with an S. The S-proof coins are especially beautiful, struck with care for collectors, and their mirrored finish makes them stand out from the rest. Pay attention to the details of the mint mark too, because sometimes tiny variations can mean a huge difference in rarity and value. Many collectors overlook these small details, but those who know always look closer, and they're the ones who walk away with the treasures. Another exciting thing about the 1978 penny is how demand keeps growing. People are realizing more and more that these older copper pennies are disappearing from circulation, being melted down or hoarded away. That makes the surviving examples even more special. Every year collectors compete for high-grade and error varieties, driving up excitement and prices. If you have one tucked away, you may be holding something far more valuable than you think. And now, the part everyone waits for, the value. When this coin was first released in 1978, its original market value was simply 1 cent, just a penny you could spend without a second thought. But today, depending on condition, rarity, and the presence of errors, these coins have been known to sell for amounts that shock collectors and thrill those lucky enough to find them. From pocket change to auction houses, the 1978 penny has proven that even the smallest coin can carry big surprises. So don't ignore this little piece of history. Search carefully, study the details, and never underestimate the power of a penny. That 1978 Lincoln cent in your hand could be the key to an incredible discovery. Thank you for watching and joining me on this thrilling journey into the world of coins. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another hidden treasure. Every coin has a secret, and maybe the next one we uncover together will be sitting right in your change jar. Until then, happy hunting and happy collecting.